Today's video was supposed to be a continuation of the favoritism of DeLa on Season 6 and All-Stars 3, though just the Season 6 part, where we'd look at Season 6 had DeLa been eliminated in the top 8 episode, where she probably would have been brought back for the makeover episode, as they needed 6 queens for that episode. But then also they brought back Carmen and Kenya in their season's makeover episodes, and even with that, the final result does not change, and the second scenario where she does get saved, but she loses the bottom 2 lip sync against Laganja in the next episode. For the second scenario, again, the result is the same. The what if video I'm doing today does have to do with DeLa, but only in the setup of the video and for the new All-Stars 3 season. Almost a year ago, somebody commented this, and the screenshot's been sitting on my desktop for over 2 months now, so I thought it was high time for me to make the video, because it is an interesting idea, it is something that could have happened, and I was curious to see what the fuck would have happened, maybe. Before we do begin with the video, I just want to say that I assume that the producers ask all of the queens what their strategies would be when it comes to eliminating queens, and then they maybe pick out the juiciest answers of those to air, which I'm guessing is why DeLa only asked Morgan how she would be eliminating queens. This could also not be. Maybe DeLa was just curious and went and asked Morgan, so there was naturally a storyline for episode 1, but we're talking about Drag Race. Naturally created storylines are almost as rare as a part of my body without hair. Of course, we're starting with episode 1, where there are no changes to the queen's placements, other than, of course, DeLa picking Chi-Chi's lipstick and eliminating her. But let's go over the placements just in case. DeLa wins, and she also has a mini challenge win. Aja loses the top 2 lip sync. Torji and Shanji are high, while Bibi, Kennedy, Milk, and Trixie are all safe. With Chi-Chi being the one that was eliminated, Morgan will get only 1 point for this episode. Episode 2, the Divas Live episode, won't have many changes either. Morgan revealed on her Instagram that her diva person character, celebrity, singer, whatever, was Lana Del Rey. I could not find which song she would have had to lip sync to, or rather which song would have been remixed for her, but honestly, it seems like it would have been a snooze fest, but not one that you can mess up in. Kennedy being the only queen that messed up her performance, and Torji flat out exposing the show while on the show for setting her up to fail and for painting her as paranoid. I've already talked about this whole ordeal in this video, so check it out if you want. They're the bottom 2 here. I contemplated doing a bottom 3, but because the original episode had only a bottom 2, I'm sticking to that. And also, Morgan's runway look would have been much easier on the eyes compared to the other 2s. These are the placements. Shanji wins the top 2 lip sync against DeLa and eliminates Torji. The rest of the girls, except for Bibi, are safe. Mind you, technically, Chi-Chi's placement in this episode was low, but because she had one of the best performances in the Maxi Challenge, I've always counted her as safe, as I am Morgan here. Episode 3 will bring more of a change in the placements. So, it's the Bachelor episode, and each queen got a persona to portray. And with Chi-Chi gone, Morgan would have got the persona of, I don't know, dumb, clueless girl that's on the show because she's into the guy, but she's also into Shangela's character. Morgan and Shangela are portraying the polyamorous couple is what I'm trying to say. Oh, and just by the way, this was her look for the Bachelor Challenge. It doesn't really fit the character that Chi-Chi got, and maybe there was another character for Morgan. Judging from this picture, maybe it's like a MILF or something similar to what DeLa did, but because we don't know, we're gonna go with the roles that we know existed. We know that Morgan can play dumb very well. I mean, come on. Her choice for her kitty girl character was Bimbo Kitty, and it's kind of her thing when she has to put on a character, so I have no doubts that she'd end up doing better than Chi-Chi originally did. Which is why I put her and Shangela as safe. By the way, this was Morgan's runway look for the wigs on wigs reveal. I don't know, I can't remember the official name of the runway, but the one where they had to Roxy Andrews their way down the runway. With the fact that this episode had a bottom 3, we have to bump either Shangela or Bibi down a placement, and given that I've already said that Shangela's safe, we get Aja, Bibi, and Milk in the bottom 3. With Trixie high and Kennedy winning the top 2 lip sync, we have to say goodbye to Milk. Episode 4 is Snatch Game. Winner, winner, chicken. Morgan, again on her Instagram, revealed that her Snatch Game character was Joan Collins. Originally, when she did Snatch Game, Morgan was in the bottom 2, and we've seen that she can't really play other characters that aren't, dumb bimbos, so I don't see her doing well here. The placements for this episode are the same as the original ones. However, instead of Chi-Chi getting eliminated, we have to say goodbye to Morgan. We know that Shangela would not eliminate Kennedy, because we know how high Shangela was on having an alliance. Look how well that turned out. And she's smart enough to know that eliminating Trixie would get her shit ton of hate from the fans. So Morgan is kind of the only one left. DeLa, who's as obsessed with track records as I am, would have seen that Morgan was overall the worst queen out of these 3 competition-wise. I do want to mention too that I absolutely adore Morgan's Flower Power runway look. Episode 5 has the same result as originally, or rather same placements. Bibi wins the top 2 lip sync against Trixie and eliminates Aja, another bullshit decision that happened in All Stars 3, again discussed in this video, while DeLa and Kennedy are safe. Now, I do want to ask your opinion on these placements here. So, we know that in top 6 episodes, each queen takes each possible placement, minus the 2 times when Pearl and Kimchi were saved in season 7 and 8 respectively. But on All Stars 2 and 3, the 2 queens that weren't in the top 2 and bottom 2, I've always seen labeled as just safe, which always irked me a little, but I do understand the idea behind it. Now I'm wondering, do you think that in either case on All Stars 2 and All Stars 3, Alyssa and Detox and DeLa and Kennedy respectively should both take the safe placement, or should one of them be high and the other safe? Episode 6, similarly to episode 5, has the same results. The one result that does change is DeLa's choice for returning queen. We know that DeLa wins this because of the whole self-elimination, white out on the lipstick thing, and also because she did better in the lip sync. So there are 2 ways we can look at this. The first one has to do with DeLa bringing back the first eliminated queen, and the queen that she eliminated at that, in Chi-Chi. Of course, originally DeLa brought Morgan back because she felt bad for eliminating her, even though Chi-Chi should have been the one to go then, so I don't know if such idea would still be with DeLa. The other option here is to go with DeLa's picking based on the track record. And if we look at the 5 eliminated queens track records, Aja is of course the one with the strongest one, so maybe DeLa would have picked her. Just in case, we'll go over both scenarios. The first one will be the one where Aja returns. She, as the returning queen, gets to assign the roles for the god-awful acting challenge in the final competitive episode of this season. Almost unanimously, the queen said that Bibi should play the role of the queen, which she, of course, gets. The other 3 queens all expressed wishes to do a certain character. Trixie wanted Lala, Shangela wanted Octavia, while Kennedy wanted Beige Swan. We've seen that Aja likes helping other girls even if it doesn't benefit her in the competition, so I don't see why she wouldn't give these roles to these queens. She also probably would have seen the actual dialogue that each of these would have had, and would end up picking Sharon whatever, the other top 2 written role. Since Shangela's role was the only other one written to be funny, she and Aja are in the top 2, while the rest are up for elimination. I mean, okay, Lala was kinda funny too, but you really had to camp it the fuck up and have so much energy to make it work, which Kennedy didn't really do. She was just halfway there. Since the lip sync for Your Legacy song was Freaky Money and Aja can perform better than Trixie, I can see her winning the lip sync against Shangela, even with Shangela wearing a fat suit. Though that's more of a morbidly obese suit, right? And who does Aja send? Bibi, it's Bibi. She sends Bibi home, which would be a really great storyline. Why didn't you go with that storyline at Drag Race? Hire me, I'm better at your job than you are. The top 4 for this season in this first scenario are Aja, Kennedy, Shangela, and Trixie. With the fact that the eliminated queens would get to vote for the top 2, we know that Shangela doesn't make it into the set top 2. But I do see any pair of Aja, Kennedy, and Trixie being in it. Looking at their track records, Aja is better than both of them, and given the fact that she was up for elimination only twice, while the other 2 3 times each, I can with no doubt say that in 2 out of 3 cases, Aja would have won All Stars 3. In the third case, the one where Kennedy and Trixie are in the top 2, of course, Trixie wins. Episode 7, in which Cheep Cheep returns, follows the same idea as the one with Aja. Chi-Chi's nice and wants to give the other girls what they want. With Chi-Chi as Sharon Frockovich, I don't know, maybe it's that. I don't see her executing the role as well as Trixie did originally. Just for the fact that we know that Chi-Chi wasn't really there to compete full on, and also Chi-Chi in acting challenges was never really good. So we have Shangela in the top 2, and now we have to pick the queen she'll beat in the set top 2. Kennedy as Beige Swan, absolutely not. That role was horrendous. Bibi as the queen, not really. Who would even be able to make that role funny? So I guess let's hope Trixie's Lala would have been good enough to get her into the top 2. Sure, maybe, I guess, why not? So we have the same situation as originally, with Bibi, Kennedy, Shangela, and Trixie in the top 4. The eliminated queens vote for the top 2, and, just like originally, they vote the most for Kennedy and Trixie, with Trixie winning the season. So, to summarize, had Morgan not revealed her strategy of eliminating the strongest queen, we would have still seen DeLa eliminate herself, bring back either Aja or Chi-Chi, and in the first scenario, have Aja win 2 times out of 3. Trixie only once, while in the second, Trixie wins hands down. I'm having a lot of fun with these cards and shit, so in the upper right hand corner, unless you're behind your device or if your screen is somehow flipped, then it would be the upper left hand corner, vote for which scenario you would have liked more. This is the final of season week. But don't you worry, I still have 3 videos prepared for the next week, alongside Drag Race UK reviews.